fight fans? It's your boy Luke here for another MMA preview. This is the first episode we've had for quite some time. I've been really busy with some of the other sports, but anytime we have a action-packed card like we have for this weekend, going to go ahead and make sure I get out a preview for you guys. We have UFC 269, we have multiple title fights, we have a couple really exciting fighters like Cody Gargrant changing divisions, fan favorites like Tai Tuvasa going out there and fighting. It's an absolute bangers of matchups like the one we have between Josh Emmett and Dan Ige. Pretty much every fight on the card is going to have us on the edge of our seats. So with that being said, let's hop into my top 6 plays for Draftkings DFS contest this weekend. Anytime you're playing MMA DFS, you're looking for some of those top-end upside targets. Maybe not so much the safe plays, but you're looking for people that are going to get quick finishes or just put up a ton of volume. That's how you get your scoring done on DraftKings. In particular, if you're playing a large field GPP, you're trying to beat 20, 30,000 other entries. So just taking 6 guys that win is not going to be enough. With that being said, our first pick is going to be Jeff Neal playing against Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio is the main reason I'm actually targeting Neal. Neal has a very well-rounded skill set, somebody who I think might be a little bit underrated, but this is even more so about the fighter on the other side. He's been dealing with legal troubles of late, whether it's his DUI he has on his record or it's his illegally owned firearm. The guy's been through legal trouble. I'm sure that's been very distracting for his training camp. And overall, having somebody that's going out drinking every night rather than training for his fights is a huge red flag. It's somebody that I will not back from a UFC side of things. Jeff Neal, we know he's taking things seriously. He's one of the head trainers in his gym, somebody who's there every day trying to make other people better, let alone himself. So somebody we know is going to be disciplined. He has been to this point of his career, has not missed weight or anything like that, has always been Mr. Consistency. That's the side I'm trying to take here. Let alone the fact that he's also, in my opinion, the superior fighter. I mean, Ponzinibbio looks great his last time out, got that highlight type finish, which really made him a name in this division. Neal, though, has been here for a while. He's fought everyone that's pretty much has a name in this division. He's stacked up well against a lot of the top end names for that matter. So for me, I'm taking the more well-rounded prospect, also the person that seems to be taking this fight camp a whole lot more seriously. Next up, we have Tai Tuvasa, who is the people's favorite. He's my favorite fighter to watch in the entire UFC. And this matchup against Augusto Sakai is going to be absolute fireworks. Somebody is going to sleep. There's going to be a knockout, very likely in the first round here. So if you're not taking Tuvasa, I highly recommend you're taking Sakai in those lineups. One of these two guys is likely to end up in the optimal lineup. And in terms of the odds, it's a straight pick 'em. So pick whichever side you want to root for. I mean, it's heavyweight MMA. Essentially, there's going to be a finish almost every single time out. And in DFS purposes, that is exactly what we're looking for. Tuvasa's coming in off 2 extremely impressive knockouts in a row, coming in with great momentum. And he made those last 2 knockouts look easy. I mean, went out there, showed some devastating power, was also extremely precise with his punching. He's not somebody who's going to be known for his output, for his volume or anything like that, but he has a clear path to the optimal lineup via his power. Next up, we have Dan Ige, who I think is an extremely live underdog in this instance here against Josh Emmett. Comes in at $7,400, so you have to like that price tag. Gives you a huge sense of savings here. Also somebody who has one of the best chins in the entire MMA history. I mean, this guy can take a punch. We've seen him just get absolutely mauled before. Some of the most powerful punchers in the division. Actually, pound for pound, some of the most powerful punchers in all of the UFC. Josh Emmett is definitely one of those guys as well. He's one of the highest knockdown rates of anybody in the UFC. And for his size, packs a huge punch. And that causes people a lot of trouble. He's gotten plenty of knockouts to this point of his career. Usually seals up wins just based on knockdowns alone. Can steal a round away from somebody with higher volume just by putting them on his ass. And with Dan Ige, that's a real problem, right? He's somebody who has been knocked down before. The issue with Dan Ige is that he always gets back up. This guy has an absolute heart of a champion. He's somebody that I love backing in MMA because we know that even if it's not his night, he's going to go out on his shield. He's going to give it everything he has to win that event. And Josh Emmett, we quite frankly don't know if he's willing to do so. We don't know if he's willing to go into some of these deep waters against somebody like a Dan Ige who we know is not going to back down. I mean, we've seen this guy get absolutely mauled before. Just has to get saved by the refs at times. Josh Emmett, on the other hand, has not really found any, let's say, adversity to this point of the UFC. So I really like going with Dan Ige here. Even if he ends up losing this fight, could still put up a very respectable score from the fantasy side of things. But I do expect him to win a very tough fight in a close finish over Josh Emmett. Next up, we have Cody Gargrant at $8,700. He's going down in weight class, which I think is going to be very good for the future of his game. He's somebody who is struggling against some of the top-end talent. Obviously relies on his power a little bit, loves getting those flashy knockout victories. But when he's fighting people that have a chin that can take that kind of punch, he's going to run into issues. He's not very polished. He's not very calculated as a striker, and he wasn't using his wrestling at all. Again, I think a lot of that had to do with the weight class. He was not able to wrestle with some of the guys that were a little bit bigger than him, but now that he's going down a weight class, he's going to have a much better chance to utilize some of that wrestling that he has. Coming out of one of the best wrestling gyms in all of America. Kai Kara-France, while he's a great prospect on his own, I love how quick he is on his feet. He's very polished as a striker. So that is a glaring difference between these two fighters. He's just not in the same pedigree as somebody like Garbrandt. I mean, Garbrandt has devastating power. I expect that to be particularly evident in this type of weight class. He's also somebody who's going to get out-wrestled by Garbrandt. We haven't seen that for quite some time. My hot take for this slate is I think Garbrandt wins via sub. I think it's maybe even a first-round sub. He's going to go try to send a message. He needs to fight smart if he's going to be a factor in this division. If he goes out there and fights emotional like he's been prone to do in the past, he could very easily get caught by an up-and-coming prospect like a Kai Kara-France. I don't expect that to happen. If he goes out there, he has his calculated approach. If he is a different man like he's saying that he is to us through a lot of his pressers, he's going to go out there and look very good. He has a skill set to be very successful in this type of weight class. It's really just a matter if he goes out there and executes from the game planning side of things. So as a minus 140 favorite, I think that is a deserved tag. Somebody who in DFS purposes could go out, put up a massive performance with a first round finish. Next up though, we have the two champions who I am going to be backing here. First of which is an underdog, which I do not understand. That is Charles Oliveira. I believe that he should be the favorite over Dustin Poirier. He's somebody who has a superior wrestling to Dustin Poirier. We know that. Submission threat from no matter where he is on the ground. He's great from guard. He's great on top as well with a lot of those type of submissions. Also somebody who might be just as good as him on the feet. I think a lot of people think that Dustin is a savant on the feet. He's definitely a brawler, but in terms of his efficiency, his calculated approach to striking, it's not really there. It's more looping shots. He's a little bit slow to actually get to the punch. Whereas Oliviera has started to look extremely polished of late. You can tell that that's what he's working on. I mean, he's the best ground game guy in the world. I don't think anyone can really contest that. This guy has submissions from a variety of different positions and has the most of all time. I mean, that should pretty much solidify it there alone. But not only does he have a ton of finishes, he does it in every which way. I mean, the guy has every submission in the bag. So just when you think that you have him in a position where you're gonna, ground and pound, take him to the mat, that kind of thing, he's pulling out a leg lock or a knee hook or something like that. So I like him here in the situation. I do think that he gets the finish. If it goes the distance, I expect him to win as well. Again, he's going to be the superior grappler, potentially the superior wrestler as well. And on the feet, I think people are giving too much of an advantage to DP. So for me, Oliviera is the side I'm looking at here. Gives you great upside as an underdog at just $7,600. But finally, our number one pick, we're going to make it short and sweet because it's an easy one. That's Amanda Nunes against Juliana Pena. Pena is an interesting matchup. She's very large for the division, is extremely lanky, is able to wrestle extremely effectively for that reason. But Amanda Nunes is on another level. She is a scary woman, somebody who has extreme power for the division. And I don't even think that's a proper way to describe it. She can fold everyone in that division with one punch. Literally, it's just a matter of whether she wants to or not. She's usually going out there kind of feeling up her opponents, letting there be a couple shots at distance, and then just finishes it in 20 seconds. She goes in there, just mops up the job, and leaves. One of these days, she's going to go in there, and instead of feeling out, she's just going to go up and mop up the job. And that could very well be what happens this time around. People are kind of sleeping on Amanda Nunes. No one's really talking about her. She hasn't had anything crazy happen in her fights in a very long time. So maybe she decides to put her away in 30 seconds. That would be a good way to get a little bit of hype behind her once again. And in DFS purposes, of course, that would be absolutely ideal. So I don't expect that to happen. I mean, if she wants to go out there and finish her in 30 seconds, she's going to. It's just a matter of fact whether she actually wants to go out and do that. Either way, though, she's going to get a finish. I expect that to happen in the first 7 minutes of the fight. That's, the under 1.5 prop that's out there. That's like minus 10 right now. I would bet on that. I definitely think it ends that quickly. And that she ends up with a huge DFS performance as a result. all I've got for the UFC preview. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments who you guys have as your favorite fighter to target. Maybe it's somebody that I was targeting, or maybe it's somebody completely off the board that I wasn't considering. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys. And as always, really appreciate you guys stopping by and enjoying the content. I am going to try and be a little bit more consistent with my UFC content going forward. Anytime we have a main card that's not like one of those small fight nights, that kind of thing, I'm going to go ahead and try and cover it. For some of the bigger fight night cards, maybe the more exciting matchups, that kind of thing, I'll try and cover those. But with NBA going on, NFL, golf, there's a lot going on. When NFL ends, we'll definitely be a lot more consistent with it. But until then, guys, good luck with all of your lineups for this weekend. If you have any questions about the slate or fighters that you'd like my opinion on, you can always, of course, put those down in the chat. Good luck and peace.